Welcome to Bondi Boomer. On Sunday the 2nd of November, I did the Sydney to Wollongong Ride, a distance of around 80 kilometres. It's a beautiful scenic ride which goes through the national park, and it's a ride which I would recommend to almost everyone. I set off at around 6 from my house in Bondi and joined the ride in Tempe at around about 7. The ride out starts off relatively flat. I'm afraid the day was a bit grey, and I think there was a bit of moisture on my camera lens as I was experimenting with keeping the camera in a jersey pocket. This video is intended to give new riders a bit of an impression of what this ride looks like and the sort of riders you're going to encounter on it. The ride attracts all sorts of people of all different abilities, riding all sorts of different bikes, flat bars, drop bars, even a tandem. Okay, here I am on the turnoff and the water stop to Bundina. The ride is very well organised with regular stops on the way to pick up new water or even just to have a rest. There's even a bunch of portaloos. Leaving the stopover point, we head off towards the national park, where hopefully the ride will get us out of traffic and get a little bit more interesting. Just passing Heathcote, if those people who know Sydney. There's another stop-off point just before we start the ride into the park. All sorts of riders, even some people in suits on a tandem. I knew you'd want to see the portaloos in action, really one of the highlights of the ride. Now, after that, the ride does get more interesting. We ride through the beautiful Royal National Park. My lens is a bit foggy as it was very humid and very moist. As I said at the start of the video, the ride perhaps is not for everyone. There are some steep hills. If you've got the gearing, you'll be fine. If not, you'll be walking your bike. The good thing about this ride, it isn't a race. So as long as you've got the perseverance and the gears, you'll make it up the hills. Here we are pulling into Stanwell Tops, where a lot of people take a break to take photos and just to take in the view. I'm afraid on the day though, the place was covered in a bit of a thick overcast sky and maybe even a bit of fog. A lot of people congregate at Stanwell Tops just for a bit of a chat and a chance to get some photos and have something to eat and maybe have a bit of a rest. It's a lovely spot when the weather's great, and it's not a bad spot when the weather was like it was on the day. As you can see, a lot of people do it as a group to make it a bit more fun. Okay, here I am at Stanwell Tops. The weather's cool, but it's very foggy and a bit sticky. How many k's to go? We're about 30 k's to go. Feeling okay. It's been a good ride. We've come through the national park, and that's the hardest bit. And there's a few hard bits, but there's some really pretty bits too, including the causeway, which you can see in the distance. On the causeway now, and we're just passing one of the ride photographers. Here we are at another stopover. This one had some thumping dance music, which made it a bit unpleasant, but they made up for that by having free fruit. Again, as I said before, it's a very well organised ride. Back on the road, cruising the coastline, checking out some of the beautiful homes on my right. You can see that there's all sorts of riders on the ride. Here's a guy on a flat bar in his shorts. He's having a good time, so am I. Cruising down now, we've gone past Ostermeer. We're cruising down to the outskirts of Wollongong here. And finally, here's the finish. We finish in a park where there's lots of food and there's shade, and guess what else? That's right. They give you a medal. I caught the train back to Sydney and there was a very large queue and about I'd say we waited about half an hour to get on the train. But still, it's a special train and it gets you home and you can kick back and relax. Thanks everyone for watching.